Hello. Oh boy. This is me smiling through the awkwardness. I never thought I would ever make a video like this. So, we're just going to give it the good old try. We are. We'll get this piece together. I have nerves. We'll get through it. This is not as easy as people make it look. Kudos to y'all. My name is Naomi. You can People call me Nomi. That's where the name comes from. And this video is about my journey and what I've learned and the things that I think are important to share. I wanted to make this video essentially because I was able to lose 90 pounds in about a year's time. And I did it without all the BS. And I want to let everyone else out there know you don't need all the extra crap, okay? You just need you, yourself, and the willpower to want to change. The universe is a mirror, okay? And when you start shifting how you perceive yourself in that mirror, the energy around you has to shift with it to match. And so my only real goal with this video is kind of like a bookmark for myself at this point in my life because I've been through a lot in these past few years. I think all of us have. It's been crazy, and I've always been a person that is very horrible at letting myself revel in my successes, I guess you could say. It's always check off the list. Let's move on to what's next. It's never let yourself celebrate it. This is not an easy process to go through. This video, I am going to just try to give you the blunt truth, okay? And this blunt truth I'm trying to explain right now, it's not to be mean, okay? It isn't. It's about efficiency. And anyone that knows me personally, y'all know I love efficiency. I do want to lay a foundation real quick, and that foundation is going to be a little background of me and my story. I know I'm not special. I know there's been thousands of other people who've lost weight, kept it off, and have went through this process. If you just want to skip ahead to where I get to like the learning points on what I learned, please go ahead. Don't feel like you gotta stay. Skip there. They all skipped. We all have stories to tell, okay? We all go through the same things, similar things, We're all mirrors of each other, okay? So I don't want to overshare, but I have a little foundation, and I think it's important because it kind of helps explain growing up how I thought about being overweight because I have been overweight pretty much my whole life. I mean, not when I was like 5, but by the time I was like 7, 8, 9, like I was starting to put on a little stuff. I've always been chubby ever since I was little. I don't even remember what it feels like to know what my core feels like. You're gonna find also, I need to say this real quick. I did not take any real progress photos because I hated taking pictures of myself. I was always uncomfortable. When I started the journey, I was like, yeah, take your shirt off, take a picture. I just couldn't do it. And I can't. I didn't want to see old me. If I was able to do this successfully, I have pictures of being overweight. I don't actually need to see what it looked like under the shirt, okay? Because I spent my whole life wearing baggy clothes because I was like, no one wants to see this. Like, I'm not going to wear something skin tight when I'm uncomfortable. So I am from a little tiny town in Ohio, okay? I'm just a person. I grew up in a small town, very tight knit, close community, and it was honestly great. I loved it. I love living here. I love the people here. I love the community, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it still was a small town in America. And what do small towns have? Small towns have closed minded people who unfortunately just have never been able to escape the bubble. They've never got out of the bubble and realized that this is a big, beautiful world and we're all human beings and everyone's different and unique. Just be happy in your little piece of heaven. You don't have to be a closed mind, you know how those people are. I'm trying not to cuss in this video. And so anyone who does know me watching this, you're gonna because I love cussing. It's the best way to just emphasize your story. From the second I gained consciousness in my little small town, social norms were my enemy. I didn't like them, okay? I was very tomboy growing up. I'll start putting pictures and stuff around. Didn't want to be a little princess, okay? I wanted to be a Power Ranger. Like, what do you mean I'm a girl and I have to play with these? I like walking down the boys' aisle better because it's cooler to me. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Growing up in the early 2000s, you might look in today's terms with how far we've progressed in just these last 20 years. It's been pretty fast. Like, even in the 2010s, there was still a lot of stigmatism, especially in like the media and like TVs, movies. Like, people are much more accepting now just in these last few years. So, it wasn't always easy. I think social norms when the beginning of my life was the first kind of stressor that started having me build up, the weight over time. And then, fifth, sixth grade, right when puberty starts, I'm in a small town. People are loving, people are nice, but they're still closed minded people. And what did I get surprised with as soon as puberty hit? Growing up gay in a small town. It's this story gets told more and more by more people every day, so I'm not going to go into it too deep. But when puberty hit, you know that's when, because I grew up going to church every Sunday, every Wednesday, and that's when religion trauma tension started, is when I hit puberty. And I didn't even know. Like, I didn't even know what gay meant. I didn't know any of the terms. I had no idea, but I knew I felt different. I actually, the moment I realized this craziest thing, I had a dream. I had a dream of a girl kissing me, and oh my gosh, I woke up the next day and everything made sense. And then everything didn't make sense because the religion I was brought up on, it contradicted how I was feeling. I remember being confused and being like, what does it mean to be gay? And unfortunately typing into YouTube, like, is it wrong? And of course, the first thing that came up was some fiery preacher screaming about how you're going to hell. And let's just say I went through it for a few years. It actually took me almost 10 years to get through that. It was not easy. It's not easy when you were raised to think a certain thing, and then your world completely shifts because you're like, wait a second, are you sure? I don't think y'all are right. I put weight on. Little me knew I started getting uncomfortable, probably, yeah, when puberty hit. Little me always told myself, don't get over 200 pounds. You are okay. You're not over 200 pounds. You're gonna be okay. I don't know why. That's just how my brain works, and that's how I rationalized it. Lo and behold, by freshman year, I had been balancing, weighing between 190 and 200 pounds for a decent bit now. Hanging on, don't hit two, don't hit two. But I had gotten myself to where I was practically there. But because it was in the 90s and not actually two, I got it. Like, it will be okay. A lot of what, like, I feel like I could have put weight on a lot faster as a child if I didn't play sports all the time, and that was a blessing because it helped me not balloon faster. I played 3 sports for a long time growing up. Okay, 5th grade I started with tackle football. I played that for 4 years. Basketball since 3rd grade. Softball since t-ball. Okay, so I was always in sports. I was always moving around doing things, and I think that was a really good thing for me. It really was. I love sports, but I also, unfortunately, because I was a little, that took a toll on my body. By the time I was in junior high, I had dislocated my knee. I was struggling with it. It dislocated once at summer camp, and then I wore a brace during sports, and then there would just be times during practice or in games where it would pop out again and pop in, and then I'd have to be out for a week. I think 6th grade year I missed the end of softball. I missed the tournament at the end because of the dang thing. It sucked because my girls needed me and I couldn't do that. I couldn't play. It broke my heart in that moment. And that's what we're going to get into next. The next heartbreak when it comes to sports. Jump ahead. Instead of doing softball, I decided to do track freshman year instead of doing it in high school. They had to run a mile at practice every day and it was timed. Okay, I probably could have ran the mile if it wasn't timed, but yeah, freshman me was like, absolutely not. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna go shoot, throw discus and shot put in track. I'm gonna do that. I'm a big girl. But then we got to the summer of sophomore year, and that is when I hit 200 pounds that summer. And so I was upset with myself because all through, little me, don't get over 200. You're okay. Don't get over 200. And then I hit it. I decided, I'm going to do marching band in the fall and work a job, hopefully, eventually, and then basketball and then track. And I committed myself sophomore year, beginning of sophomore year, to actually trying in basketball. Because like I said, small town, there's no tryouts. You don't have, as long as you show up and go to practice, you get to wear the jersey, you get to be a part of the team. And so that's how it had always been. But sophomore year, I approached it differently in the beginning. I was like, I actually want to try it this when it came to basketball, because I was like, that is the winter sport. And winter is when you're more likely to be cooped up and eating more and developing those bad habits because you can't go outside. I was like, I'm going to play basketball for all of high school. That's going to be the hard thing that I commit myself to. And so that summer, that fall, I had been outside shooting baskets more practice than I had ever put into it since third grade when we started. And I was feeling really good. I made it through the first month of conditioning. It was hell for me. I looked at it from a point of, yeah, it sucks, but it's keeping me from not being worse. I wanted to work hard at it because it was sophomore year. The class under me was just athletically gifted. And I was like, you know what? If I want to have any playtime, I'm going to have to put a little more work in. And so I did. Not like a crazy amount. Like I said, small town, show up, you get to be on the team. I practiced a little bit here and there, but never that much. But that leading up to that season was the most I had ever like put in on the side. Yeah. Made it through the first month of conditioning. In our first scrimmage on JV, I finally got put in and I was feeling so good. Got a rebound. I think I had an attempted shot. I missed it, but I mean, hey, first game jitters, And then I went up for my next rebound, came down on my bad knee, and I just felt it because I had a brace on because I had dealt with dislocations in the past. I could feel it pop out and I could feel it slam back in, and I went to the ground. And I knew instantly, like I did in my heart. Like I let myself think like maybe it's not that bad, but I 90% knew. I was like, I'm done. That did damage. And it did. I had just committed myself to working hard at something, and before I really even got the chance, it was ripped away from me. I went to the doctor and they figured out what was wrong and they said, yes, you need surgery. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna be surgery, like it's gonna be good. And then there came the hard thing when the doctor looks at you and goes, you probably shouldn't play aggressive sports anymore. You need to be done with it. That hurt. I had just committed myself to it and it got ripped away from me. And that is what the start of the road to 300 was. So from 200 to 300 pounds, it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. So the rest of sophomore year, I was distracting myself from being upset with what reality was. No more sports. Okay. I distracted myself in all the other, through school, outside school, organizations, clubs, some volunteer work. I distracted myself with those things and said, you know what? Whatever. I can't do sports anymore. I'm going to pour into all these other things. And I had a great time. Like I had fun and I learned a lot. But then junior year comes around and then my life changed forever. My life changed forever. I met my best friend, my soulmate. My, call me cliche, I don't care, okay? Have y'all learned from the media fast enough that like lesbians move fast, all right? I knew she was the one. I actually waited to ask her out so the date could be a cute date. So I asked her out on New Year's of 2018, my junior year. This is us a few months after that in the spring. This is one of the like first like photos we took like this to be all cute. And so that's why this next part is bittersweet because I was still dealing with all of these, having to feel like I need to protect myself and mask myself around those closed minded people. But then at the same time, I was ecstatic. The girl of my dreams. Surprise, she lived 7 minutes down the road. I don't know what I did to get blessed with her. We're getting married next year. I have never went to bed since the start of our relationship. I've never went to bed one time doubting my love for her or doubting that she loves me and doubting that we're not meant to be together. That being said, we enjoy each other. We went out to eat a lot. It was fun. It was a small town. There's not much to do. There's no going to, it's like the best thing you get to do is go get food. So we went and got food. It was fun. You should have saw our Taco Bell hauls, man. Oh my goodness. Taco Bell. Get a better menu. You have no fun things right now. Anyway, sorry. We like going out to eat. And also I was still working through those other things we had already talked about, social norms, religion, all that stuff that everyone has to work through. I was working through it. And my biggest problem my whole life has been, it's not that I would eat bad every day, it's I would have days where I ate normal, and then days when I was stressed is when I would binge eat at night specifically, or just whenever I was alone. Binge eating, not good, but at the same time, going out to eat with babe was fun. Rest of high school, 2 to 250, college 250 to 300. I was in my freshman year, first semester of college, loving life. I was so happy. I felt like I belonged there. I was learning stuff. It felt good to be surrounded by people that were working towards the same goal. And then COVID happened, my second year of college, and I'm not even getting into that. We all know how that went. It sucked. I ain't going through all that. Everyone had a horrible time through that. Okay, so yeah, I'm not getting into that. Just by the end of college, I was 300 pounds. I have really sensitive skin. So as soon as I get nervous or as soon as I start sweating in any way, my face turns beet red. So yeah, little red cheeks here. Anyway, you have COVID, and then after COVID, everything that happened after COVID. I for a few years, I let the weight of the world, things that you can't control, I was letting it get to me. I was letting it get me down. It was depressing me. I was like, this world we live in. I feel like a lot of us in our early 20s, if you're close to my age, we're feeling that. I let it get to me. Don't let it get to you. I had held, so I hit the summer of 24, and I held 300 pounds for over a year. Over a year, I was that heavy, and wow, did it have an effect on my body. I was getting headaches multiple times a week, and they did not go away. I let the world beat me down there for a little bit, and it's because I was upset with myself. I held 290 to 300 pounds. The stress of don't hit three, you're okay as long as you don't hit three. It went from 200 to 300, and I was balancing again the stress of, I haven't been able to figure this out to get rid of it yet, but as long as I don't hit this number, I will be okay. And then I hit it, and boy did it not feel good when I stepped on the scale and I saw that number 3. That was my that was my mental breaking point for me. That was my I like to call it my ang moment. What's the quote? I have it right here. When we hit our lowest point, we're open to the greatest change. It's what Aang tells Korra in the season 1 finale. I hit it, and I hit it hard on my face, and boy, did it make me realize some things about, what the heck, what have I been doing? Yeah, I'd been working towards my goals. I got my degree, but after college, I had a very bad mental year, and I was not working on the things I should have been working on. I was stuck in myself, in bad thoughts, in bad habits with people. Misery loves company. Everyone's got that. Everyone's got people like that they unfortunately, sometimes you get stuck in a bad loop with someone else, and that's okay. I hit my aim point that summer, okay? 300 pounds in this picture from July. And then a few months later in August is when I proposed. And already in this time here, I'm pretty sure I'd already lost my first 20 pounds. That was my breaking point. I had started shifting, and I was starting to figure things out. And boy, once you hit that, I don't want everyone to have to hit that mental point. It's not fun. It's not that it was the lowest point of my mental health had ever been. And my lowest point for where I was at in my life, someone else's breaking point might be not as bad as my breaking point. It might be 10 times worse than where I was at then. Everyone's different. It was bittersweet because in that moment, getting ready to propose, I was so upset with myself because it hit me. It hit me. Not everyone gets blessed with a love like we have. That's something to hold on to, that's something to cherish. And what had I been doing? I had been slowly killing myself. We had just slipped into bad habits, very bad snacking habits at night together. Like, it affected her too. I was getting ready to propose commitment for your whole life, and I had been doing things for too long that show that I didn't love myself the way I was supposed to. You don't eat yourself to 300 pounds loving yourself. That's just true. I was getting ready to propose, and it was the best day ever, but it messed with me. I said, how dare, how can I propose to someone and say I love you, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, when you're not doing the healthy habits for longevity? I was killing myself. I'm sorry, that's just the truth. Carrying extra weight is not good for your body. And I decided in that moment, I need to change my future, the projection of my future. I need to shift it because the path I've been going on for these past few years is not what I'm meant for. I'm meant for more. And that started with getting my shit in order. It was for younger me who never felt comfortable. And it was for her because I love her and she is worth, no matter how hard it is, to get this stuff off of me so I can be here for as long as possible. I can extend my life. You got blessed with real love. Real love. You got blessed with it. And what have you been doing? You've been throwing away days of your life. For what? That's when the shift really happened. This was our engagement. And then, boom, 2 months later, October, boom. Shuffle ahead again, Christmas. And then I'm going to skip ahead. Spring 25 is when Liz graduated with her bachelor's. Boom. In May, I had dropped 90 pounds. I had been overweight my whole life, and I never thought I would be able to figure it out. And once I did, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, actually, it's ridiculous. It was so easy. And we're going to get into that. I keep getting sidetracked. Hello. This is day 2 of recording. Everyone who skipped forward, hi again. Everyone who stayed, let's jump into the next part. I'm excited. This is the part where we get into the main things I learned when I was figuring out how to shift my mind to change my life and my future. Quick recap for those that skipped. I've been overweight my whole life. I have watched countless hours of fitness, health, YouTube content. Where I'm at in my life right now with what I'm doing, I've broken it down into 2 different passions. My first passion, my bachelor's, is in business, specifically finance, financial services. That's not what this video is about. That's what I want to help my peers, the people I grew up with, the people who took care of me growing up, the people I love, is with being able to offer those services and have the resources to be able to help them with that. So that's one of my biggest passions, is personal and small business finance. Money is stressful, but being able to help people relieve that stress brings me so much joy. But then flip the coin, what we're about to go into, the mental health aspect of life, I've been up and down on the scale. And I was able to figure out how to put the scale down, without all the fog there is today. Everything's so fake now. I just want to be truthful. And if this can help just one person change their life, it'll be worth it to me. Money, health. What are those 2 things? Those are the 2 biggest things everyone ignores. Those are the 2 biggest, I'll do it on Monday. I don't want to do it right now. So let's start with why. Why do we have to shift our mind before we really focus on the things that everyone talks about? Diet and exercise, diet and exercise. There's more to it. How many years have we been fighting over what exercises are better, what diet is better? I've been on YouTube for 15 years now. I was constantly watching diet and exercise videos, taking in all this information. Don't eat this food, eat that food, do this diet, do this exercise. Most of it's fog. It's fog. Let me design your workout plan for you. Newsflash, it's not that hard. You can do it yourself. You don't need to pay somebody to give you a workout routine or a diet plan. You don't need to pay a subscription to an app to track your calories. And you sure don't need to go to the doctor to get a shot to get rid of it. Please, please, don't give these companies your money. You don't need it. Have we not figured it out yet? Keeping you unhappy and unhealthy, it makes people a lot of money. Stop making them money. Keep that money for yourself to enrich your own life, not someone else's who benefits off of your struggles. Framework of how we are going to do this. There are 3 aspects to this framework that I want to hound down before we get into it. The first one being mindset. Your mindset going into this is the most important thing. There's no, I'm doing this for a few weeks, I'm doing this for a few months. Number 1, approach it as a lifestyle change. You are not just doing things for a little bit. You're doing this to change your life, to change your lifestyle, to live a healthier, happier lifestyle. Don't put an end date on this. There should never be an end date to your health and wellness. It's actually really simple. It's really simple when you approach it the right way. The last important step, consistency. Consistency in your life, not just with health and wellness, whether it be, money, savings, anything. Consistency is a big key. We can never just consistently commit ourselves to something. We always let ourselves get bogged down and then we give up before the magic happens. So, part one of this, part one and two kind of go hand in hand, and then 3 through 5 are more of the things you're used to hearing. So, the first point we're going to talk about, I want to say this doesn't just apply to people who are overweight. This can apply to anyone. Stop drinking, stop smoking, stop gambling, stop online shopping. Everyone's got something they do in the dark corner when they're, going through things that they don't want people to necessarily know about. This first step is about working through that. Before we really get into it though, I do want to say this. If this resonates with you and you're going to start implementing these points in your life, don't tell people about it. And I know that might sound weird. Don't tell anyone about it. Don't post on social media what you're doing. Keep it to yourself. No more excuses. You can do it. Now, with that being said, yeah, don't post on social media, but don't tell anyone. Pick pick less than a handful of people, whether that be your spouse or a parent or a best friend, or maybe you do need to look into an online community to find that support, but don't blast it over the internet. I've seen so many people post, I'm going to do this, I'm starting today, and then, you go to their page a year or two later and they look the same. This is for you. Keep it to yourself and the people closest to you. Some people aren't ready to hear this. Some people aren't ready to change. So don't push other people. Just push yourself. If they want to make the change, they'll get to the point when they're ready to. You focus on you. So that takes us to step number 1. And step number 1 is your head. You need to go in there and you need to unjumble that shit, man. You need to clear it. You need to work through the things that are holding you back. I don't know why that's been ignored for so long. Mental health is important. You can't change your body if you still think like your old self that let yourself get to that point. Just in my case, I ate when I was stressed, emotional. Emotional eating comes from something happening in the background, something you're not working through. And, you may find that when you start healing, it removes that friction of not being able to actually focus on your health. It eases it. It makes it easier. That's what I found. If I'm being honest, like I said at the end of my story, it's ridiculous how easy it actually was. It's because the hard part is the mental part. Once you figure out the mental part, you would be surprised how easy it is to make good decisions for yourself when you actually love yourself. I've lived that shift. You are worth it. Take care of yourself. So the first part, there's 2 parts of taking care of yourself. First part, your head, mental health. It's human nature. We never appreciate the things we have until they're gone. We let ourselves get bogged down with past mistakes, missed opportunities, whatever it is, trauma. But that's a part of life that we need to stop letting ourselves get fixated on. I don't know why we have to fixate on that so much. If someone is holding like a grievance against you about something you did, especially when you were like a child or in high school, that's on them. That's showing that they have things they need to work through. Don't let people's projections get to you, because there's a lot of them. A lot of people have been going through this life just projecting their crap onto everyone else around them instead of doing a little self-awareness and looking in the mirror and going, why am I like this? Why am I acting like this? Why is everyone around me miserable? And they can never just slow down and look at themselves and go, oh, it's me. I'm doing this to myself. Life is so complicated, but at the same time, it is so beautifully simple. Go outside if you can. Go look at a tree. How do trees grow? Trees start by branching out smaller limbs to absorb sunlight. And then they keep getting taller. And what do trees and a lot of other plants What do they do over time when they grow those new, bigger branches? They slowly have to kill off the branches underneath. Those old ways of getting sunlight doesn't work for the tree anymore. So it gets rid of them. It slowly kills them off. But you know what the most beautiful thing is? When the tree finally gets rid of it on the outside, you might not even be able to know there used to be a branch that branched out there to nourish that tree. But the tree remembers. The knot's still there. It's a part of the tree's history now. It's just how life is. You grow, you change, you sprout newer and bigger branches, and you have to let the ones that are no longer serving you in where you're at in your life, you need to let them go. That doesn't mean you forget them. That's still a knot. It's still a part of you. But it's you remember it. You remember the old you, and you love the old you. The person you used to be got you to where you are today. Don't hate old you. Find a way to love and forgive old you for the things you were learning at that time in your life. Everybody wants to change the world, but one thing's clear: no one wants to change themselves. How do we change ourselves? How do we heal our mind? There's a few things we need to do. For this first step, I am basing my explanation on how to do this by a process that was first explained by Allan. I'm going to say I've been really getting into kind of hobby, researching psychology and spiritual philosophy. So if this first part really resonates with you, I'm going to link some more videos that kind of really helped me open up my mind to what I needed to do. Go ahead and watch them, and it helps kind of explain this process in more depth. First step of this process, with some extra bonus things at the end. And it is four people you need to forgive so you can let go of the past. Number 1, you need to forgive your parents. Holding on to what they could not give you will only keep you stuck. Thank them for giving you life. Acknowledge what they could give you and let it go and move on. Number 2, past loves, friendships. People who didn't stay, people who couldn't meet you where you were at in that time in your life. We all have people like that. Let them go. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life indefinitely. Some people you meet really are only supposed to be in your life for a little bit to help, help you during a certain time or to help teach you something. Let go of them. Number 3, anyone else that hurt you. Strangers in public, weird looks, comments, anybody that you wouldn't, acquaintances, even some family members. Those little instances that even maybe the person didn't realize it hurt you in that moment. Maybe you're in a corner at a family gathering and some family member says something under their breath to you, and then they laugh and they think it's funny, and you laugh with them in the moment, but it wasn't funny, it hurt you because it was a dig at you. Don't let people dig at you. People who dig at you are digging at you instead of digging at their own problems, and that's on them. You don't need an apology to forgive somebody. You need your peace. Forgive them. Understand, human nature. When you start diving into your own head and emotions and, oh, why am I feeling this all of a sudden? Maybe let me sit with that feeling and break it down. Why am I angry? Why am I frustrated when I've had a good day? When you start working through why you're responding the way you are and the emotions you're having, you'd be surprised how crazy it is to start seeing that in other people. And it makes it that much easier to just forgive and let go of when those things happen. Your friend at work all of a sudden snaps at you. Do you know them that personally? Who knows what's going on in their personal life? Give people around you some grace. Give yourself some grace. Lastly, this is the hard one. You got to forgive yourself. You cannot carry the past forever. Be the tree. Let go of those old branches. Doesn't mean you're forgetting who you used to be. It just means you're not letting who you used to be influence who you are today. You cannot move forward if you are dragging the past behind you. If you want to go on this journey, wipe the slate clean. Release yourself from those burdens. It's not easy, but gradually try to work through those things. A few things I want to add on. You need to sit yourself down and you need to go through your values and your beliefs. What is you? What do you actually believe in? What are things that, you were just raised to believe, and that's just how it's always been? Do you actually feel that way? There are some generational inherited beliefs that may not serve you in the future. Some might be ignorant, some might be outdated. Keep what's important to you in your life, and then let go of the stuff that needs to stay in the past where it belongs. There's some wisdom from, your ancestors that, yeah, you need to hold on to, you need to keep. But anything that's outdated, keeping you stuck in the past, and you may on this process realize wasn't serving, your lineage for years, work through it. What do you actually believe, and what have you been told to believe? And another quick little add on to this is, if you start, when we get to the other points, when it comes to like stretching and exercising, is something else I did real quick, is because I love rock music, and rock music can be pretty angsty. I let go of the songs I was listening to when I was, in a dark time in my life, when I was a little depressed. I let go of some of them, and I switched them out with what are still rock songs. I love listening to them, but they have a more positive message. They have a more positive light to it. That's another little thing you can do to help in the start of this process. Set yourself up for success. So that's step one. Your head, your mental health, spiritual, religion stuff, whatever you need to use to work through it, start gradually working through that and letting the past stay in the past so we can work on the future together. That brings us to the next step. And the next step I wanted to include that no one ever talks about is lifestyle. What I mean by lifestyle is like hygiene, cleanliness, addictions. The environment you keep yourself in influences your behaviors. So when it comes to stuff like this, something as simple as drinking more water, hydrate yourself. But that also includes cleaning your space. What did we just talk about? You need to clean your headspace. Everything inside here, you need to get it sorted out, figure it out. That goes into your physical world around you. I'm not saying you have to make your house spotless. Are you doing those simple adulting steps to keep, you in a good mental headspace? Do you have a clean kitchen to prepare food for, to nourish your body and others in your life? Do you have a clean bathroom to rejuvenate yourself and wash off the stresses of the day so then you can be comfortable in your own space? Is your bedroom clean? Are your sheets fresh? I don't watch a lot of reality TV, but I love hoarders. And hoarders is crazy to me. Hoarding is a mental disorder, and those people get to the point in their lives where they're so distracted by what they've lost that they fill their space with literal, not all the time, but most of the time, trash. They can't throw it away. And half the time, what do they figure out? Oh, this happened to me in the past. This triggered this behavior. And then, in a lot of the episodes, if in that one week where they're cleaning the hoarder's house, if they know they're not going to have time to get it done, they instantly shift to functionality. Clean and hygienic kitchen and bathroom, bedroom, safe space to relax, rest for the day. Going with drinking more water, cleaning your bedroom, that goes with getting good sleep at night. And then they might shift to like a living room so then they can have people over to enrich their space and their lives. It's beautiful. I love watching that show, but even if you're not a hoarder, there's a lot of truth you might be able to find if you go watch an episode. We want to create calm. Step 1, creating calm up here. Step 2, creating calm in your personal space. And I know that might not be easy for everyone. You might look at your personal space and be like, there's no going back. And you might be watching this right now and go, my mental health, my personal space, what does this have to do with losing weight? These first 2 steps are the biggest triggers for overeating, dysfunctional space, getting your hormones out of whack, your nervous system, everything. I would consider these 2 to be the most important step. You can't build a healthy body on top of a chaotic life. It's that simple. These first 2 points are the points that are the hardest. When you implement these little shifts, these little changes into your life, like I said at the end of my story, it's ridiculous how fast I was actually able to get the first 90 pounds off of me was. It's because I was working on step 1 and step 2. It makes health and exercise, the things that we've been fighting about, what you need to do exactly for years, These first two steps make these last ones a breeze, at least in my case, and that is the blunt truth. I said I was giving you the blunt truth. That's the blunt truth. When you start working on these first two steps, and this is I'm smiling because I'm excited, because if you want to do this, your life is going to change. You will be blown away at how easy it is to make healthy decisions for yourself, to want to eat better, to want to get your blood flowing, to want to get outside, to want to get moving, when you take care of step 1 and step 2. Now, back to what I said about not telling anyone about this. Yes, have a few people you talk about with it. Don't try to teach the people in your inner circle this. Live it. And you would be surprised just how contagious this energy is. It's a beautiful thing. Shift your own mind and you won't even have to do anything. The people in your small circle, they'll feel your energy shift and they might go, hey, what have you been doing? And then maybe, yeah, tell them what you've been doing. But keep it to yourself. Be selfish. Work on you. Now, step 3, 4, 5, the things everyone is used to hearing. So I'm going to breeze through this pretty fast. Step 3, your diet. You don't need to track your calories, at least not in the way that, they've been trying to get everyone to do now, where you track literally everything you put in your mouth. That's a lot of work. That's stressful. I'm here to tell you, you don't need to do that. Tracking every calorie that goes into your mouth are for people who have an end goal, for professional athletes, for influencers, for, people who have an end goal, like a fitness goal, and are working towards something. That's what daily calorie tracking is for. That's not for the everyday person. We don't got time for that. That doesn't mean you don't have to track it all. I'm just lifting that burden off of you. You don't have to track everything. This is what I want you to do. Look up maintenance calorie calculator. Put in your height, weight, age. Your maintenance calories are what you need to sustain your body weight you are at now. If you eat that set of amount of calories every day, your weight will stay the same. That's what maintenance is. Find your maintenance, and then this is what you're going to do. And I'm not babying you. I'm not laying out a schedule for you, okay? You got this. Plan it out yourself. What that's going to look like. There's 7 days in a week. You're going to pick 5 days where your goal is to eat below your maintenance. And then you're going to give yourself 2 other days where your goal is to eat at maintenance. It's called calorie stacking. You don't want to suddenly switch into being in a deficit every day. It's going to confuse your body. In my life, it's either Saturday or Sunday, and then Wednesday. I give a gap. So, simple math with that being said, if you can eat in a deficit of an entire week of your maintenance, and your deficit for every day you're in a deficit equals 3,500 calories, you should be able to lose a pound in a week. That's how the math works. So, the breakdown. 5 days a week. Eat under maintenance. Some days you might only eat 100 to 200 calories under maintenance. Other days you might be able to eat 800 calories under maintenance. The day-to-day shift of how you do your diet, it's not going to look the same every day, especially for women. If you're on your cycle, don't feel like you have to hit such a high deficit every day. 5 days. That's your only goal when it comes to what you eat. Don't eat over your maintenance. But then, longevity, how are we going to continue this process? You're going to give yourself 2 days a week to eat at maintenance. And the beautiful thing you can do with these 2 days is it's not only tricking your body into not, lowering your metabolism because you're eating in a deficit consistently now. Those are the days where you're going to let yourself live. And what I mean by let yourself live isn't eat 4,000 calories. Allow yourself to have those fun foods without guilt. That's why so many people fail at diets, is they try to go cold turkey and jump right into it. No, this is a lifestyle change. This isn't just how you're going to be shifting how you eat for a few months. This is how you're shifting your mindset about food and your diet in general for the rest of your life. Let yourself live. Let yourself live. You will only fail if you try to cut everything out at once. Don't do that to yourself. 5 days, eat slightly below maintenance. 2 days, eat at maintenance. And some other things to help with this part of this. The simple switches that there's thousands upon thousands of videos of people explaining, make this little switch, make this little switch. For instance, switching from full sugar soda. Don't drink your calories. Switch to something low calorie, zero sugar on those 5 days. But then on those 2 days, if you want to go get a can of a full sugar pop because you like it, do it. Everything in moderation. On those 2 days, those are the days where go get McDonald's, go out to eat, go reconnect with loved ones over a meal, and don't feel guilty. Order what you want, order what sounds good. And those intentional days when you let yourself live, it helps you not binge on the other days. It helps this process work that much better, makes it that much easier. You don't have to say, oh, I can never have this again. You can say, okay, I'm not going to have it majority of the time, but oh my gosh, yes, it's my weekend day. Oh my gosh, let me go get this. I love this. Do that for yourself. Now, what I meant by the estimate method and why I said you don't have to track every calorie. Before I consistently started, lifting weights and exercising, I lost my first 30 pounds just by changing my diet, by doing this. And this is going to look different for everyone. Apply what I'm giving you to your own life. You don't have to have someone spell it out for you. Estimate method, make the math easy on yourself. Know how much you ate for lunch, know how much you ate for dinner. If you need a snack, be reasonable. We don't need snacks. When you have excess fat on your body, what was it, 3,500 calories per pound of fat? That's a lot of energy you're storing on your body. You don't need to be snacking all day. Stop snacking. Eat lunch, eat dinner. If you must have a snack after dinner, like 9 p.m., let yourself have a snack, but be reasonable with yourself. Don't have Oreos. Pick a snack that you like that is only 1 to 300 calories and isn't going to put you over your deficit. It's exactly how I did it. 90 pounds, gone. That's how you do the diet. Without apps, subscriptions, plans, you don't need it. Don't waste your money on stuff you can do yourself. Please. Food is fun. Food is fun. Let yourself still love and enjoy life. But instead of living and enjoying life every day by eating 1,000 calories more than you need, we're going to do it by eating slightly below maintenance for 5 days and then giving ourselves 2 days to be human and love life. Don't cut everything out. I want this approach to feel very human. That brings us to the next step, step 4, and that is stretching and mobility. Step 1, if you are not an active person and you are carrying a lot of extra weight, don't jump to working out. You're going to hurt yourself. Start with committing yourself 10, 20, 30 minutes a day to stretching. Stretching first, mobility later. When you have a lot of weight on your body, stretching itself is hard enough. And that's why I say start with this step. You can burn calories for your daily exercise to start losing your first little bit of weight just by stretching. Stretching out your muscles is a very good habit to start in your life. Doesn't mean you have to do it every day. Those, whether you decide to work out 3, 5 days a week, on those days you do end up working out, when you get to that point, make sure you're stretching. It helps your body move better. It reduces pain. It can lower your stress. Work on your breathing, your stretching. Stretching leads to fewer injuries down the road later. On days when I get busy and then I realize it's 5 p.m. and I haven't stretched out at all, I feel stiff. I'm like, when you get used to it, you'll be able to tell the difference. That's why this next step is so great. It's so accessible. Anyone can start stretching from home. We're not just losing the weight, we're building a good mind and a good body. And then once you get some weight off of yourself, the stretching is going to get easier. Don't push yourself. I started at 300 pounds. There was some stretches I couldn't do. Do what you can do and work forward. Just the difference in how I was able to stretch that's one of the main things that kept propelling me forward, is feeling the difference in my body day to day. The stretches get easier. You're able to do more. You're more flexible. You feel better. Your bones, your joints. The difference is palpable. It's amazing. And that brings us to the last step already, step number 5, exercising. Muscle is a very important part of your body. You want to build a strong foundation. I'm not saying get crazy jacked. Just putting on a few pounds of lean muscle will make your body feel night and day difference. I'm not lying. And that doesn't have to just be lifting. There's all kinds of different things out there. I'm not telling you exactly what to do. Like I said, take what resonates. But the fifth step, the goal of exercising, needs to be building muscle. Why do we want to build muscle? Number one, it feels good. Ladies, it feels good to be able to feel your back, your shoulder, your chest muscles. It empowers you, makes you feel strong. You're not going to look like a man, I promise. Do that to yourself. You deserve it. Stop just doing squats and butt workouts. Work out everything. What does building muscle do? Building muscle is the foundation of longevity. Use them or lose them. But the beautiful thing about taking the time to build some lean muscle on your body is that actually raises your maintenance. As you start losing weight, your maintenance is going to go down. You don't have as much, your body doesn't have to support as much, so it doesn't, your maintenance calories you're going to watch. Once you lose 20, 30 pounds, recalculate that. It will go down. It's once you build a good foundation of muscle, that's what helps keep your maintenance at a fun level. Muscle's expensive. Muscle's expensive to keep. Just like how it takes so much more energy to break down protein in your digestive system, building muscle is going to help keep, as you're losing weight, it's going to help balance out the drop in your maintenance to where it's easier to stick with it. That foundation of muscle is going to keep your maintenance to where it doesn't drop to 1,500 calories. Boo. You still want to be able to eat. You want to still be able to eat a decent amount of food? Put muscle on your body. And then also, the cherry on the cake, start building muscle, lifting, exercising, losing weight, getting toned. It builds confidence. It builds discipline. I did it fully from home. I downloaded a dumbbell app on my phone and just used the workouts it already had built in. I've been lifting sporadically my whole life. So when I was ready to do this, saying I'm just going to lift 5 days a week with dumbbells was easy for me. Maybe that's not the route you want to go. Do something else. There's a multitude of resources out there to help you with exercises and strategies to help build muscle. Do some research. Find what's interesting to you and what you think you'll be able to consistently do and sustain, and go for it. None of this, I can't afford a gym. I don't know where to start. I need fancy equipment. You don't. I started with 10-pound dumbbells and 15-pound dumbbells. And I eventually worked up to where I needed 20-pound dumbbells. And I'm to the point where I need to go invest in 25-pound dumbbells. How I want you to approach this is not going to the gym and swinging weights around, okay? Start simple. Start small. For me, that looked like having a 5-day split. You need to learn the basics. And especially if you want to start strength training, you gotta train your body and your brain when you're doing those movements to understand the goal. For me, it was Mondays, I started with chest. Tuesdays was back. Wednesdays were legs when I did them. Thursdays were bicep, triceps. And then Fridays were my shoulder days. For the first 7 months of lifting, that's what it looks like. Chest day. I had 4 chest dumbbell exercises that targeted different aspects of my chest. Don't do 4 exercises that target the same thing. Even if you just have dumbbells like I did, look up shoulder exercises. And every exercise you look up, it's going to tell you the name of it. And then if you type that name in, a bunch of videos is going to show up of really jacked people explaining the movement and how exactly to do it without hurting yourself. But for that, this first 6 months, a year, build a foundation. That's your only focus, is starting to figure out how to build muscle. And this starts with making sure you're doing the exercises correctly. And then in a year or two, like I did, I had to switch up what I was doing. Your body is a little, can be mean sometimes. It gets used to your routines. You're going to have to switch it up. But for those first few months, start with the basics, lay the groundwork. And then when you go from, beginner lifter to more, intermediate, medium, that's when you might want to switch it up. I switched it up. Instead of doing one muscle group per day, I switched it up to where I started targeting each muscle group twice a week. Build your plan for you. You got this. You can do it. Some honorable mentions to add in real quick. When it comes to starting to exercise and lifting, don't go crazy with your knees. Every pound you lose off your body, that takes 4 pounds of pressure off your knee joints. You lose your first 10 pounds, that's going to be 40 pounds of pressure on your knees. I'm telling you, you'll feel the difference. You will feel the difference. But when in understanding that difference of you're carrying a lot of weight right now, don't start doing a bunch of squats, lunges, things that make your knees hurt until you get some more weight off. And then the other little thing, the thing that I've never really in a video like this heard someone, at least from what I've watched, I've never seen someone explain this. Massage your skin. Okay? I used to use that stupid excuse of, well, I don't want to lose the weight. I'm afraid of what my loose skin's going to be like. That's an excuse. You will love your loose skin. In a sense, maybe you will hate it, but to me, the process of watching my skin heal and my body change has been exhilarating. So when you're sitting at night and you're not doing anything in that, time before bed when you're relaxing, you know, you're going to notice you're going to notice the little changes in your body, okay? Patches of your skin are all of a sudden you're going to be able to pinch it and it's going to be looser. It's going to group up. It's a beautiful process. Okay? Those patches that start loosening up are going to loosen up, and then one day you're going to pinch it again, and then it's not going to feel as pinchy. That's because your skin is slowly healing back. Everyone's different. If you jump into this and you are losing pounds and pounds a week, your skin might not heal back as fast, and yeah, you're going to have a little more loose skin, but we can manage that. Massage it. Get the cells, get the blood vessels going. It's like, honestly, it got like addicting. Not in like a bad creepy way, but we watch a couple shows before bed at night. I have an hour or two to sit there where I'm not really doing anything. And that's where I take the time to massage your body, love yourself. Go find those little patches of hard work. This might sound a little silly and crazy, but I'm telling you, if you massage your body every night or multiple nights a week, that's going to help you even more to stay consistent, because you're going to be able to notice those little changes, those little tweaks in your body. It's going to show you that you're doing the right things. Put some vitamin E on it. I use a tightening cream, not all the time. Every few weeks out of the shower, though, I'll put some on. You won't be afraid of your loose skin, I promise you. So those are the 5 steps. 1 and 2, mental health, physical space. Step 3, 4, 5, your diet, stretching, mobility, and then exercising, lifting, building muscle. Those are the 5 steps. I'm hoping the way I've been able to explain what I went through fills the gap. I hope I've talked about the things that people just don't talk about enough. Not a lot of people talk about step 1 and step 2. I think people are starting to talk about it more, but yeah, don't get stuck in the past. Wipe your slate clean, all right? You're starting a new journey. You got this. Why are you not able to stay consistent in the past when you've wanted to change your diet and your health? You just need to acknowledge it. Your environment can work against you, and your self-image resets your process. Make friends with yourself in the mirror. Be able to smile at yourself. So in conclusion, with these 5 steps, I want to tell you, give yourself some grace. Be graceful with yourself. But if you are able to be consistent over time, you will see results. And something I wanted to add from my experience is this shift in mind didn't just help me lose weight. It helped me stop some other bad habits I had had for years. I actually stopped biting my nails for once in my life. And I also quit nicotine, which I had had every day since I was like 16. 8 years of nicotine. I didn't even start this journey wanting to quit nicotine. Don't be afraid of this process. Everyone always says people are going to treat you different when you lose weight. And that is true. People will treat you differently. But the thing no one says is, at the same time, you're treating yourself differently. You're showing up in the world differently. When you start losing weight, it's not just people around you acting different. You're going to start acting different. It's going to be easier to smile at strangers. You're going to feel more comfortable in public spaces. Proportions are crazy. Proportions in mass, you'll start feeling it because it's weird. It's still hard for me sometimes. I'll have days where I still feel like, 250-pound me, and then I go out in public and holy cow, proportions. Transitioning from being the biggest in the room to, on the end of not being the biggest in the room is weird. It's weird, but it's a good thing. And also, to add to this, yes, weigh yourself, but the scale is not everything. Just like I said about massaging your skin, the small fluctuations, you know, how your clothes fit differently, how you're going to feel different, your skin, your body's going to feel different, clothes are going to fit different. It's not all about the scale. If you do the diet and you try to build muscle, that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be doing what they call body recomping. You want to switch out the fat on your body for muscle, and it's not going to be a one-to-one gradient change. And that's also why I wanted to make this video, is because I have kind of reached a plateau. I'm still doing the gradual things, it's still working. I'm to the point now where my body fat percentage is ranging in between 27-29%. And a healthy body fat range, like it fluctuates. It's different for men and women, but around 20%. Like, don't try, don't try to get 10%. This is a bookmark for me, and it's also to help propel me into the future of getting this next 20-40 pounds off, which is going to be even harder. The first bit of weight is much easier to lose than the last bit of weight. So yes, hopefully going public with what I've learned can help keep me even more honest so I can get to my next goal. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy my personality, my energy, stick around, leave a like, leave a comment if you've found the same conclusion I did, that step 1 and step 2 are just as important as the other steps. I'm going to link some socials that I'm going to hopefully start posting on. So if you want to go along with me for the next part of my journey, please stick around. I would love to meet some people and hear some other stories. So thank you for listening. If you're still here in this video, it means a lot to me. I hope this can help somebody. I have some other video ideas I'd love to do. I have one about a theory I call sim theory. And then also, because I did it all at home, I haven't been to a gym. I have no idea after lifting for a year what like any of my 1 rep maxes are. So I thought that might be something fun we could go do. That's something you'd like to see, let me know. You got this. You can do this. You are worth it.